I believe Detroit is a resilient city.
We are resilient today. We'll weather this storm as we've weathered storms in the past.
I'm very optimistic about the foundation because we are very careful. We're very committed to being good stewards of the resources that we do have.
The economic meltdown is at the forefront of everybody's mind these days.
The work of the last 6 to 9 months has been the most challenging of my 20-year investment career.
We've seen some grantees who have really gone after and really rethought the way that they've done their work, and who are developing new collaborations, new partners, and going after raising money in a very different way.
We have to collaborate now.
The Skillman Foundation, like everyone else, has felt the impact of the economic turndown. As a consequence, we've had to take a very hard look at our operating expenses and trim our budgets where we can, and we've also had to reduce our giving, at least temporarily, while we weather this economic storm. I think we've trimmed our sales in fine fashion, so we'll be able to continue to support our neighborhoods and our Good Schools initiatives.
This investment started in the city of Detroit in the early 70s, the late 60s, and each time Detroit has found a way to come back.
From 1950 to 2000, there were 27 individual days where the stock market went up or down by more than 5%. In the fourth quarter of 2008, there were 27 days where that occurred. And so our investment portfolio declined about 26% in 2008, which was in line with many of our foundation peers. What we're doing to counteract that decline and the volatility that we're seeing is having a nimble and flexible portfolio that has a significant amount of what we call liquidity.
This is a rich policy environment as well as a rich kind of government funding environment. And so we need to help organizations go after that money, and we need to be the catalyst behind that.
Many foundations, particularly the larger foundations, Kresge and Kellogg, have stepped forward and offered resources that they have that would make our resources stronger.
There definitely is an infusion of new leadership. We see it at the government level, we see it in Detroit Public Schools with Robert Bobb and with our new mayor, Mayor Bean. The opportunity that is present before Detroit right now is how do we help assemble the momentum and the leadership of these particular entities to move in one direction.
The Skillman Foundation and its investment portfolio are resilient.
Skillman is one of those institutions that has a wonderful past and a very promising future. We've been in business as a foundation for nearly 50 years, and during those 50 years, we've seen some wild ups and downs in the economy and elsewhere. We weathered those and came out not only as good as we had been in the past, but actually stronger. It's my belief that we will do the same thing coming out of what has been billed as the worst economic situation since the Great Depression.
Behind me there's a photo of a little girl who was on the streets by herself with no adult there. And I keep this picture in my office as a reminder that even when parents don't care and adults don't care, communities must care.
It's a singular focus of the staff across the entire foundation to make sure that whatever our role is, we make sure to meet the mission that Rose Skillman set up for us, and that we do so for the long term.
You know, when the Secretary of Education, Arne Duncan, was here, he said that Detroit Public Schools was at ground zero. And in some ways, the city is at ground zero. Yet, I believe that you reach that point where people become energized and decide that while these are really compelling issues, we need to work together to resolve them. So what we see is people stepping up.